Who do you have coming out the West?
I'm gonna be honest, man. It's game time, man. Check your watch.
What?
I mean, and coming off the bench isn't a bad thing.
It's gonna be hard for them to replace Russ.
You are tuned into Hot Take Season,
3 years of
where these hot takes are rated E for everyone.
a rotational quarterback. Like that's gonna be a while. I think they'll go.
Hot Take Season. Hot Take Season. Hot Take Season.
What up, what up? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hot Take Season, where these hot takes are rated E for everybody. I'm your host, Me. I got Pop and Grace with me. What's up with y'all?
What's good? How's it going?
What's up, bro?
All good, all good. All right, so our guest for this show is no stranger to the show. He's the creator and host of Talk Nice podcast. He's a diehard Knicks fan, diehard Cowboys fan. Bees, what's up with you?
What's going on, man? What's going on, Pop? What's going on, Grace? Y'all know who it is. It's your boy. Talk to me nice.
All right, so we're gonna kick this off because Bees is a Knicks fan, and we had a little pre-production chatter going back and forth about these Knicks. So Bees,
The boys was tussling.
huh?
The boys was verbally tussling.
Man, for
Let
real.
me preface this with look, this is how New York operates. New York always tries to do the most with the least. They're going to sign mid-level players to max extensions. Then they're going to have them come to center court and say, we're going to win a championship this year. As long as that building stays full, the organization don't care about nothing. The coach, whatever. Well, I'm not even going to get started on Tibbs. Tibbs is a good coach. He just shouldn't be the head coach. And he'll run his players into the ground. And that's obvious. But the conversation we were having before this started recording, the man over here, Beezo, I'm not going to call him Bozo yet, Beezo saying, it's not 5 guards in the NBA. That's the National Basketball Association better than Brunson. And it just that just shows you, they drink the Kool-Aid in the garden, man. They got you spitting on fans, talking crazy. It's like an ECW event. No, it's
All right, so let's
like
get
one of them
back
riot
into your
things.
list, because so far you named one. So let's get back into your list.
Could we go in alphabetical order? I only named
Go
14.
in alphabetical.
What do you think?
All right, go.
Pop, I let you
The
talk.
people didn't
I
hear,
let you
so go ahead and list
talk.
that one.
I let you talk. You told
We're
me
gonna go
Knicks is
alphabetical order.
whatever.
I want the
Name them.
I want the people to hear.
Keep naming
Well, I
them.
want the people
Keep
to hear. We
naming
said
them.
Atlanta. We said Atlanta. He says Brunson's better
Trae
than
Young not
Trae
better
Young.
than him.
We said Boston.
Not better than
He
him.
said Brunson's better than Tristan Smart. We said Cleveland. He said Brunson's better than Garland. We said Denver. Jamal Murray. He didn't have nothing to say about that. He's saying Western Conference Finals in the chip better. He's saying Brunson is better than Jamal Murray.
No, he
Said
didn't
that?
say that. He didn't
I
say that.
said you got one, and that was Jamal Murray. Come on,
Cause
bro.
we only
Now
got the
we
Denver.
recording. You
We only
put
got the
words in my
Denver.
mouth, bro.
All right.
Huh?
Portland. I'm jumping all over the place. Portland. Is he better than Dame Dollar?
That's 2.
Is he better than Kyrie Irving?
Yes.
All right, we don't got to talk no more, man. Next subject.
He better than Kyrie. He better than Kyrie.
Next
Kyrie
subject.
went to Dallas and did what? They went 18-24 when he got there and fell out the playoffs.
You
You
acting
keep
like
talking about
Brunson's
skill.
going to the chip,
Listen,
man. What are you
listen,
talking
bro.
about?
I'm talking about right now. Let me talk for a second.
He's
I'm
not
talking
better.
about
He's
right
not better
now.
than Kyrie, man.
You see, this is what people do when they don't have a leg to stand on. They want to
Yo,
overtalk people.
spit your facts. Spit your real facts.
I'm
man.
gonna let
Spit
you
your
go.
real
Go ahead,
facts.
bro. You got it.
You don't
Let
have
me
to
know when you
let
finish.
me do anything, bro.
Let me know when you
Say
finish.
what you were going to say. Say what you were
You
going to
got
say.
it? You good? You good? Have a sip of water while I
I'm
talk, bro.
great,
We
my
good.
man. I'm great.
Have a
I'm
sip of
more
water
than
while we
good.
talk. So here we go.
Overstand me. Overstand me.
I'm
He's
not
not
doing
top 5 in the league, man.
He's not top 5. All right, so I'm gonna tell you why he's top 5 right now. Kyrie
Jesus Christ.
availability is the best ability. He's not available. 2, he just went to Dallas where Brunson just left and got them to the Western Conference Finals last season. And Kyrie game, and they went 18-24 to end the season and fell out the playoffs and almost gave us their pick in the draft. They got lucky because they sat everybody. That's why he's better than Kyrie. Skill set, yeah, Kyrie, greatest skill player that you've seen at 6. That's about 6'1". But Brunson, he put up 20. He just had 41 in an elimination game. Damn near won the game by himself.
So
He
almost
averaged
counts
27
now.
in the playoffs.
Almost
He's
counts
fourth
now.
quarter clutch. What are you talking
Almost
about?
counts now.
We won 38 games last season. We won 48. 10-game 10-game bonus for us from season to season. You telling me that's not the Brunson effect? You sitting there telling me he not that because he barely 6 feet? Boy, give anybody buckets. Boy, footwork is crazy. You still only name me 2 guys that you feel is better. Any other point guard from any other team, Brunson is giving them work.
I don't think he's better than Trae Young, and I don't even like Trae Young. I don't think he's better than.
You can't just say that and not have no facts. What's your reasoning?
Give him Trae. Switch teams. Trae Young goes further. Switch teams.
Atlanta making the playoffs. Switch teams. New York not making the playoffs. I guarantee you that. Switch teams. Brunson is putting Atlanta in the playoffs, and I'm not talking about the play-in. I'm talking about the playoffs, 1 through 6. With that roster they got down there, because they can spread the floor, and that's all you need. He in there creating havoc in the middle with shooters around him. You crazy? They 5th seed or better if Brunson is on that team.
Trae Young, Irvin, Dame Lillard. That's my 3 so far. If we go through this league, man, he's not top 5. And it's not a problem with not being top 5. It's just that you drank the Kool-Aid, and it's all right because you want New York to win. It's all right, man, but you got to be realistic.
I drank the Kool-Aid. New York won 48 games.
What does that mean?
Well, that means that we won 38 last season and we added a piece and won 10 more games.
When'd you win the season before? When'd you win the season
Mm-hmm.
before? When'd you win the season before?
We won 41 games. It's a shortened season. We won 41.
Okay, so was the team better without him?
The team was way better. The team was better with the 41 wins in the 38 games. The team was better with the 48 wins. What are you talking about? We won 48 games in the short season, and that was when bum-ass Randall played out of his mind. And then torpedoed in the playoffs.
Randall was an MVP candidate. Now he's a bum?
Excuse me?
You didn't ever say Randall was an MVP candidate?
I did. He put up MVP numbers, but he went to the playoffs and he acted like he never played ball in his life. Pop, you see me go back and forth all the time with Randall on Twitter.
When it comes to the Knicks, bro,
put numbers up and then don't show up when it's time.
When you come to the Knicks, you do not live in reality. Like most Knicks fans. Fan is short for fanatic, so I get it.
What's not reality?
Brunson is not top 5. Randall was never an MVP candidate. They are not winning no chip no time soon.
Is your strike against Brunson due to him being in the Knicks jersey? Or is that just really how you feel about him?
I just don't feel
it. That's Pop being Pop, man. That's Pop being Pop, man.
You talking like I talk about James Harden. What's your beef?
Like, is it really?
He don't have one.
Or is it the Knicks?
Brunson is a good player, man. He's a good role player. He should not be a franchise
player.
He's a good role player. Like, when he's scoring 40, you're gonna lose because that's not the winning formula. You need they need a star. The Knicks need a star. They're never gonna get one, and that's it.
Hey Mia, I want to thank you for inviting me back. I missed this. I missed this.
I want to point out that you invited this man back after he came on the show, did like a few episodes, and then did his own show. You know what I'm saying? Your man definitely jumped ship to his own ship. It's all right, though. It's all right, though. I guess you needed some, like, motivation or whatever. Like, yo, if I could be Pop, I could do my own show.
Yo, Pop. Why you trying to stop these other podcasts?
Hey, Pop.
I'm going to quote you from a couple of podcasts ago. Is it drugs?
Pop, you wild, boy. You wild.
Real wild. Oh.
Mia, what you did, what did you wanted me to speak on the next season? Because Pop interrupted me with nonsense.
Yeah,
I could definitely do that.
Give me your assessment on your Knicks this season.
So basically, I want to, I appreciate the season we did have. Coming in this season, I thought Randall was going to be doing the same nonsense. So I didn't have too much high expectations. I thought it'd probably be 3 or 4 games better with Brunson. They surprised me a lot during the season. And it was a good season. And we got to the second round, which was, I guess they was playing with house money in the second round. But it's still not a finished product. I think they need to get rid of Randall. Need to find a trade for him. I think it's that time. I think his trade value is the highest it could be right now. Just because his season numbers at 25, 10, and 5 assists, which you would think is, great, and he made all NBA third team. But for some reason, when he gets to the playoffs, I don't know if it's a mental block or whatever, it's like he forgets how to do the things that got him to 25-10. And it's doing too much. Like Tibbs, him and Tibbs is not a good match, in my opinion, for this team. And then you got Brunson, who operates in the middle. You got RJ, who operates in the middle. So it's time to move him, get a shooter. Hopefully, one of these disgruntled players want to come to New York. The foundation is laid. But overall, I thought it was a good season, just for the fact that quickly he progressed in his third season. I seen little remnants of Grimes becoming a 3-and-D guy and showed a little bit more, putting the ball on the floor, getting to the basket. And Mitch showed up for the most part. I think RJ next year is the litmus test for RJ. Can you put it all together for 82 games? Or it may be him on the next one talking about what can we get for him to move him, because it's too much of consistency. But, and again, now that I'm on your podcast, I want to thank you for the Brunson signing. I want to thank you and let Cuban know thank you for that extension that he turned down for not offering that.
Hey, it's still a sensitive subject over here in Dallas, man.
I'm still salty about it, but honestly, Dallas got what they deserved, if that makes sense.
I want to appreciate it. But definitely Brunson is a breath of fresh air. And regardless of what Pop say, he played like a top 5 point guard all season and showed it in the playoffs, showed up in the playoffs, pretty much game in and game out. And it's up from here. They made a couple tweaks this summer. Maybe they can put those draft picks and move Obi, and that they got Evan Fournier, who's making $18 million. So one of these guys is making like $40-50 million a year. They got the pieces to move and get one if one want to come. So we'll see.
Anybody in particular you would like in exchange for Randall?
Right now.
Hey, y'all like taking players from Dallas? Y'all want Christian Wood?
Nah,
wait
we
a
good.
minute. No, wait.
Y'all can keep him. We need shooters, and honestly, if they could, I would go right down I-95 to Washington and see what the Wizards want to do with Bill, just because that hard cap is coming after next season, and he making $50 million, and they can't really do much with him after the next season if they're going to continue to keep paying him and not be able to build a team around him. So, in my opinion, because then that'll open up the floor for Porzingis to put him at the 5, put Randall at the 4, and still have Kuzma at the 3. And then that'll give us the shooter and the star we need at the 2 guard position, and he'll fit right in. But that's, that's me just dreaming.
Yeah, you're dreaming for Bill. And I just say that because I thought he would have left with this last contract situation, but he chose to stay. So I don't know. He's probably retiring there at this point.
He ain't got no choice, to be honest. 5 years, was it $250 million, I think? Something like that.
Yeah, he's locked in. But Grace brings up Christian Wood. So Grace, is it C Wood or is it Jason Kidd?
It's both. I ain't gonna lie to you, it's both. I'm surprised that there hasn't been movement already, considering how the season ended for us with the drama and the shadiness in the press conferences.
Man,
I think it's both.
I wanted the Christian Wood thing to work, and honestly, to me, it feels like more of a coaching thing than it is a Christian Wood thing. Because I don't know, maybe he gives you what you expect out of a different coach.
Maybe so.
What was you looking for, Mia? What was you looking for from him?
More defensively. I think offensively he had it. It was just him not getting the opportunity a lot. But
yeah,
do you think that's more because of Luka dominating the ball?
No, I think it was definitely a coaching thing.
Think it was a kid?
Yeah.
How many coaches y'all gonna fire before you tell Luka to pass?
Find me the coach that's going to tell Luka to pass.
I think they all tell Luka to pass. I think he just doesn't do. I think he does what he wants.
Find me the coach
hasn't
tell Luka to pass,
it.
and that's going to tell everybody, and that's going to maximize the potential of everybody else.
Luka's not that type of ball player. Similar to Harden, he's ball dominant. He needs the ball to be effective, which isolates a lot of players. They getting it how they live, not how it should be. So It's gonna be hard to play alongside Luka. It's gonna be hard for them to win with Luka. It's gonna be hard. Only thing in Luka's favor is that like defense is a thing of the past in the NBA. But he's ball dominant. And he's a 30-shot guy.
So do they keep Kyrie next to him since he's so ball dominant and Kyrie is ball dominant?
Well, they got to figure out what they want to do because they definitely brought Kyrie in, which was like the thing right now is Cuban says they're going to re-sign Kyrie, right? Nobody is really looking to give Kyrie big money. So what are you re-signing Kyrie to? Like, what is the bargaining? What is the negotiation? And then if you give Kyrie,
he finally seems possibly happy.
Say that? No, I don't think he's happy.
For him, it's a place where he possibly is finally happy as a player.
No, he does.
He was just at the LA game.
He does, that doesn't mean anything. People go to games. He does seem happy in Dallas. I'll give him that. Now, is it enough to make him stay? I don't know. But
they said it was a handshake deal where he was signing for the max, 4 years, $250 million. That's what he was looking to do. They said it was a handshake deal when he came. So
that is insane.
But then again, this is Kyrie. This is the same guy that was
money,
in Boston.
If you gave Kyrie max money, that's insane. If you gave Kyrie max money after he just Kyrie, nobody did that to Kyrie. He drove his own value down.
But I mean, he was kind of like let's be real about like the fact that he was kind of not walking into the best situation anyway, late into the season. So I don't know that we can completely blame him for how the season ended.
No, that's not.
I'm not considering that on his portfolio at all. Then they tank. They got fined for that, right? Like it was legit. They tanked on purpose. Like, yo, we don't want to make the playoffs.
That was Jason.
The last
I don't know that the players wanted to go out like that.
Yeah, but wasn't he came when Luka was hurt and they was in and out the lineup together. I don't even know how many games they played together to end the season to gain any type of chemistry or cohesion.
I think it was just bad coaching all the way around.
But do you trust him, Mia? With Kyrie and his history? Because you know he's told Boston he was staying. He told Cleveland he wasn't leaving.
I came into this situation being hesitant about Kyrie's health. So to me, it wasn't going to work from that standpoint. And then he did have a few games where he was out due to, resting or injury or whatever it was. So from that standpoint, I didn't think it was going to work. Now, he did come in and make some sort of change and keep the offense rolling in a sense, but it wasn't enough to get Dallas where they were trying to go. And that's not totally his fault because there were other players in the mix that stopped that from happening too.
Yeah. Because as a Dallas fan, I'll say we didn't have the roster for a championship team.
Right.
Even if we did make it to the playoffs, we weren't going to go very far. Like, that's just the reality of the season that we had in the roster we had.
It's like in a perfect world.
And the coaching we had, like me keeps saying, it's the coaching too.
Yeah, in a perfect world for me, you keep Dinwiddie if you're going to get Kyrie because Kyrie is probably not going to make it a whole season. And Dinwiddie can run the offense.
What is Kyrie's ailing injury? I don't remember him. When he was with the Nets, he played besides when they were away because he didn't want to take the shot. I know he missed out of 80 games, he might have missed 15, I think. Maybe 19, I'm not sure though. But what was his ailing injury?
It was a foot, an ankle, something like that. I want to say his foot.
I think it was his foot.
I don't know if that's one of them injuries that go away. I don't know if that's one of those things where they're like, yo, we're not really trying to make the playoffs, so sit out.
It's always something. And that was before he got to Dallas. It's always something. And if you're really injured, you can't help that, It comes with the sport.
But I'll say this. I'll take injury sitting out versus political drama and mess any day.
For sure.
Because as soon as he comes back on the court, he's about the game.
For sure.
So I'll take that version of Kyrie all day.
That version for $250 million?
Word. That's what I'm like, yo, they give him max money.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
So,
that goes back to how happy he's really in Dallas because he might be willing to take less. Who knows when it all boils down?
In Texas and Florida, you pay less taxes. So even if you get the same money in a bigger market, you make less, right? So in Texas, say you get $25 million in Texas, it might be equivalent to getting $37 million in New York. You know what I mean? Because you pay less taxes. But I don't know. I don't know if Kyrie's worth. I don't know if anybody's looking to give him a long-term investment at a max number. I don't see him because there's some super max. It's broken down into tiers, and I think that's why they came with that new cap and that CBA, because you got like the 50 million players, you got the 30 million players, then you got like the 20s, and Kyrie's in between that 30 and 50 talent wise, but trust wise, he's in between that 20 and 30. Mm-hmm. And you got to make sure he understands that. He might not want to make what a new guy is making, because I think Zion made like 19 just for being a number one pick. You know what I mean? So I think he might not want to make that. So he might have his value higher than that. And then he's unpredictable. And then we're fans, right? We don't know the inner dealings of the league. So who knows how they feel about him? Knowing the real deal. You know what I mean? For all we know, Kyrie could have a cult, and they're abreast of it. Like, yo, this man got a cult, and he just purchased 10 acres in Houston or some shit like that. Like, they might not be willing to give this man a large sum for a long time.
Hey, send James over there.
James is going to Houston, baby.
Houston, do you do that if you're Houston, really? Now, I'm not saying what you think Houston is going to do. I'm saying if you're the guy that can pull that trigger or say no to that, what do you do?
Yeah, you do that. Yes. If you could get a James Harden, if you could get a James Harden to fill the seats and sell merch, yeah, you get James Harden.
That's what it is. It ain't old James Harden. It's to fill the seat. It's to get people back to watch the team again. You're not getting the same Harden that left. He's a shell of himself at this moment, and he just wants to be free to chuck shots. He can get his 10 assists, and chuck shots, and that's it. So they happy with that with the new coach, and that takes the thing off Emi Udoka if Harden comes, because now they're going to transfer the questions to Harden about leaving and coming back and X, Y, and Z.
Man, the politics in this game is crazy.
Man, that's
know how the NBA do.
That's life. But the James Harden to Houston makes a lot of sense, because they're not going to win. Like, somebody in the organization has to be realistic. Like, yo, we're realistically not going to go from what we did last year to winning. So let's just move in the right direction. You know what I mean? And then I would leverage some. Hey, younger guys showed you that. Some of them, because what do they got, like 3 lottery picks over there?
Yep.
Yeah, the younger guys showed some of them. Didn't one of them curse out the coach or something like that?
Jalen Green is gone. If Harden come back, Jalen Green is going to be playing somewhere else next year.
Yeah, leverage that. Get him out of here. Get some picks. Build your future, and then let James go to the strip club. That's it.
Little baby.
Look, bring the club to him in arena.
Man,
yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Somebody's tried to pull that off already, and it didn't go as planned.
Really?
Yeah, somebody had strippers in the suite. I think it was at a Bulls game, actually.
Was it Kodak?
It was a Bull in Chicago, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, you gotta Kodak, have a stripper. You guys are confusing 2 different things, I believe. Kodak actually had sex at a hockey game. Like, he brought strippers to the suite, and they filmed him having sex. Yeah. You can fact check me on that. I remember seeing that was wild. They invited him to a hockey game to like build the because hockey's ratings suck, and they're trying to diversify too. So
Kodak bad. Man.
Hey, we need a black guy. Hey, we got this Kodak black guy. Let's get him. And that did not turn out. I can't Google because my other phone is not coming on for whatever reason. But I can't Google it. But if somebody could Google that, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. Kodak, because I remember that big chain, and it just looked crazy. Kodak had sex at a game in the suites. That's what you're talking about.
Somebody actually brought some strippers into a Chicago Bulls suite.
Yeah, I can see that, but they need to just have a lounge. The Barclays got a 40-40. Like, they're charging you now a separate interest fee for the 40-40. Like, you buy your ticket, and you used to be able to buy your ticket and go to the 40-40. Now you buy your ticket and you got to pay for interest into the 40-40. So what's to stop you from having a club inside of the Knicks? Madison Square Garden is charging you for a place to stand. Madison Square Garden has tickets where there's no seats. You just stand.
Like a party pass.
I forgot the name of it. Huh?
Like a
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, they charge too much there too. The Garden is crazy, especially for the product that they put on the court. So
$300, and it wasn't a seat.
Nah.
for standing room
$300.
only.
I understand in
$300.
my house to sit
That's
down.
That is
why.
Yeah,
insane.
$300.
And people are paying that.
Yeah,
This is why
they be
I don't
packed.
take the Knicks serious. This is why I don't take the Knicks serious, because they know, you gotta understand, New York City is like a big deal financially. Like, we're not like, it's a financial capital of the world. So when you see the people that are at Knicks games, most of them are not real Knicks fans. They're the people that could afford to go to Knicks games. Compare ticket prices.
Well,
Probably only ones
you
close.
act like Laker tickets is $2.
That's what I was
Come
going to
on,
say.
bro, cut it out.
That's what I was going to say. The only ones close to Knicks tickets is probably Lakers. I don't know what Golden State. I heard Golden State is taxing a lot, but when Golden State comes to play to the Barclays, it doesn't. Because normally when the high price teams come to New York, it translates. Like you'll see a ticket go from 180. That's normally 180, go to like 450. You're like, okay, this team is in town. You know what I mean?
That's how
But
it
with
is.
all the teams, it doesn't translate.
Yeah, that's how it is with the big markets. I know when LA, Boston, Golden State roll through Dallas, yeah, it's up there.
But the Knicks are like that all season.
That's
The
crazy.
Knicks are like that all season. That's why
And
I
they should
couldn't.
be. And they should be.
Oh my God.
Because it's the Garden. That's why.
I ain't gonna say all that. Bees, I was with you, and then you just went left on me.
You give them enough time. Give them enough time. The Garden is like the Mecca of basketball. I don't know why, because like it means, so when you come from New York, right? What people out of town might not understand. When you come from New York, we play our championship games there. Like, it's a lot that goes on in the Garden. Big concerts are there. For my generation, it would be Jay-Z.
So you saying to y'all it's everything but the Knicks?
No,
yeah, most
please
New
don't
Yorkers
listen
are
to
not Knicks fans.
Here we
Most New
go.
Yorkers
This
are not.
nonsense. Here
Most
we
New Yorkers
go.
are not Knicks fans.
Here we go.
Yo, you don't got that. I put
Bro,
word on that. Most New Yorkers are not
it's the
Knicks
Mecca.
fans.
First of all, we talking strictly NBA. It's the Mecca because, unfortunately, yeah, the Knicks been trash. I'm not gonna lie, they've been trash for most of my life. But players come there and they want to show out. It's the lights. It's the bright lights. Can you play? You get measured by how you play in the Garden. If they consider you a superstar, you go in there and put numbers up. That solidifies you. Am I wrong, Pop?
The thing was, in the 90s, it was competition. So like, yeah, Michael had the double nickel game, right? But at the same time, those Knicks competed. So it wasn't all about, now players just come in dropping 50. Like, it's not.
Everybody dropped 50. 50 to new 30. Everybody dropped 50. 50 easy to get in the NBA now. But the Garden is still where people come to become stars because everybody watching. Everybody watching.
It's the media capital of the world.
They on TV. You know this.
It's the media capital of the world, so things are amplified there. It's just that the New York Knicks refuse to get out their own way. They refuse, like, this guy Dolan is...
Bro, what your Lakers doing? Because you've been talking about my Knicks for a lot. Y'all just got...
Lakers just went to the Western Conference Finals, my boy. We just went to the Western Conference Finals, my boy.
I know you ain't talking about Conference Finals and
y'all
y'all ain't even pinch them.
We got a chip 2 years ago, my boy. Y'all ain't even pinch
the Nuggets. They ain't even show up.
We got a chip. Yo, your chip was when
that
Saturday
bubble chip
Fever was out.
Knock it off,
Disco
bro.
Fever was out when y'all won a chip, boy.
That bubble chip?
Bill Jackson won y'all a chip playing. Don't do that, boy. That man is
What
old.
that got to do with the Lakers? What that got to do with the Lakers? What does that have to do with the 2023 Lakers?
You're trying to compare.
What does that have to do? Answer my question.
Wait, who went home
2023 Lakers got
swept. Who went home first?
A couple days ago by Jokic.
Who went home first? Who went home
first? What
that
mean?
What it means is while y'all was at home, we were still at the dance, baby. Getting our groove on.
We went home first, and we still top 3 teams in the East.
You can't go home first and then talk about the party.
I can.
You can't go home first and then tell me about the party. Y'all don't even know.
I don't care about no. I'm asking you, why y'all ain't win a game?
Why we didn't win a game? Why
y'all was up 13 and still lost twice?
Are you dead ass?
Y'all wasn't up 13 twice and lost?
Why y'all wasn't there? Why the Knicks wasn't in the conference finals?
See, you don't want to answer my question. Here you go deflecting.
Why the Knicks wasn't in the conference finals?
Answer the question. You just had a bunch of stuff to say about the Knicks.
I'm still going to have a bunch of stuff to say about the Knicks.
So then talk about your Lakers
getting swept,
and why they got blanked in the playoffs.
The
So
Lakers
we're
getting swept is
comparing
basketball.
the worst case scenario versus worst case scenario to not make the playoffs or get swept in the conference finals.
Pretty much.
Are you serious?
Boy, the flex.
So bad.
Oh my God.
Are you serious?
That's what it sounded like.
That's what it sounded
That's
like
what
in his
y'all
mind.
comparing.
Who don't want to? Who going to? Nobody else is comparing not making the playoffs to getting swept.
So you
got
take
swept.
you taking more victories. You from New York, bro? We don't do more victories. Come on, knock it off.
I mean, he's trying
Who
to.
But you know what?
Victory. What are you talking
But
about?
you know
We
what?
lasted 2
Because
whole
you talking
rounds.
about you made the conference finals.
Yo, that's
You
wild.
said that we made the
That's
conference
wild.
finals. Y'all got blanked.
Because you're measuring.
Come on, bro.
You're measuring from a lesser point, talking crazy.
I'm not measuring anything. Y'all made the conference finals and ain't win a game.
Yo, we could talk about the Lakers getting swept, or you could tell me what the conference finals smell like. You can't even tell me what the conference finals. You can't tell me nothing about the air up there. You gotta stay down there.
Stay down where?
You can't tell me nothing about the air up there, baby.
You right with us. We just opened the door and let you sit on the couch yesterday.
I'm in the penthouse and you can't get in the building and you're trying to tell me about the roof. Come on, man.
You telling me everything but what
Come on, man.
I want to hear. Why y'all ain't win a game?
Why
what
the
y'all gonna do with
Lakers
AD?
didn't win a game?
I'm
Why the
asking
Lakers didn't
basketball
win a game?
questions.
Denver's the better
I'm asking
team.
you
They caught them
basketball
slipping, and that's
questions.
that.
What y'all gonna do with AD? What y'all gonna do with AD?
I want to trade AD.
Wait, did you?
I want to trade AD.
Slipping?
And his skateboard sneakers.
You said they caught them slipping.
And why y'all ain't win a game?
Why we didn't win a game? Because Denver's a better team. Why y'all wasn't in the finals?
It was a better team. Y'all was up 13. What happened?
That happens in basketball, bro. You get leads, you lose games, you win games. Who won more games?
Now he won. Now
Who won
everything
more games in the
technical.
playoffs?
Now everything technical.
4 in a row.
What do you mean everything's technical? That's just common sense, bro.
All right, what y'all doing moving
And the
forward?
only team to lose a lead is what you're saying? Nobody else loses a lead?
Y'all lost 2.
That's ridiculous.
Excuse me?
Wait.
That's ridiculous. You said nobody else lost a lead?
Pop, you want to get rid of AD and then let LeBron take a year off?
Yep.
Yeah.
So
They been a lot of.
So you want to tank for a year, and then use the draft pick on Bronny?
Yeah.
No,
Bring
I don't
Braun
know
back.
about all that. I don't know about all that.
Bruh, that's what the equation is adding up to.
We might could trade and get a Bronny draft pick. But with the team they got right now, LeBron's too old to carry them. He's done more with less, but that team, he's too old right now. And I saw that this playoffs.
A year off.
Why
does he need to take a year off?
I suggested he take a year off. He don't need to take a year off. I suggested he take a year off. Are you a LeBron hater? You don't like LeBron?
I'm not a LeBron fanatic, but I can give him his props where he's due. I don't understand him taking a year off. I don't think he needs that.
If he's hurt,
I think he's competitive to take a year off for no reason.
It's not. I don't
he's
think
too much of a competitor to do that
for the team.
He'll be 39 this December.
If he's that tired,
the man's played basketball probably since like competitively and traveling and all that shit since he was 15.
So hang him up.
What that mean?
Why can't he? Why does he have to? Let me ask you a question, right? From an NBA analyst standpoint, right? Why are you holding him to a different standard than everybody else? There's been a lot of great people. There's been a lot of great people that took time off and came back.
Did I agree with them coming back?
Who took time off and came back?
Did I agree with them?
Melo.
Did I agree with them?
Melo didn't get. He didn't want to take time. He didn't get picked up. Melo got blackballed.
What's the difference between controlling your own destiny and somebody telling you something? What's the difference?
Big difference. What you mean?
What you mean?
No, I don't agree to that. I don't think there's one set of rules. I think that if I can take control of something, I'm a controller. I'm not gonna let you dictate to me what to do. If the man is hurt, let him take a year off.
So now he's taking a year off just to play with his son, but that's a detriment to the team. So we doing Braun rules. So you more worried about Braun than team.
I think I told you that already. Yo, fuck that team. Like, I'm here to see LeBron in the NBA Finals. I don't want to see nobody else in the NBA Finals. I was talking today with a respectable opinion, not a Beezo opinion. I was talking with somebody, and I wouldn't be mad if LeBron went to Cleveland.
And you gonna follow him to Cleveland and be a Cat fan.
Yeah.
You gonna take your palms to Cleveland, right, Pop?
I don't have pom-poms,
Pop the
brother.
pom-pom man.
I don't have pom-poms, brother. I'll take my fitted hat. I'll take my fitted hat to Cleveland because I don't wear pom-poms. I don't cheerlead.
I see. You
all I care about right now
just said
is LeBron
you want to see LeBron in the finals.
That's all I care about right now is LeBron in the finals.
How? At 39. How that's going to happen at 39?
It was 4 games away. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He was 4 games away.
And then,
At 30
And he ain't make it.
and then
And he
get
lost
one.
every game.
You don't use the same logic with the Knicks. You go so hard on LeBron, but you don't use the same logic with the Knicks.
I just
You
said my Knicks been trash 20 years.
Yo, we won 10 more games. Yo, we on the way to the chip. And it's not realistic. But LeBron.
Absolutely. I didn't say he was on our way to the chip. Put words in my mouth.
4 wins away from the NBA Finals, and you hate it.
Why do you?
That's crazy.
Let me ask you this: why do you feel LeBron hasn't done enough? What does he have left?
I don't feel like for one, my conversation was concerning LeBron, because when LeBron came in the league in 2003, that's the year I graduated high school. So I didn't respect him at all. And you got to remember, I'm from New York, so I seen what they was doing to Lenny. So I knew Lenny was better than LeBron. So, but I seen that now I'm old enough to know you can't have 2 number ones. You can't back one horse and have a horse that's better than him. Like, so Lenny had to go. I understand the business part, but back on topic. I didn't like LeBron when he first came in. When he went to the first finals, I didn't like how they rigged that to where they beat Detroit and now he's playing the Spurs. I didn't like that. But then over time, I gained respect for LeBron. I like, yo, boy does get busy. Like, they kept calling him choke artist and all that. Boy do get busy. And as a man, like as you grow up as a man, you gotta have a moment of reality. And the boy, he answered every call. He stood tall on it too. On the court and off the court, right? So when you're saying, do I feel like he didn't do enough for me? I need him in my argument to have more chips than MJ. And that's why I said I only care about LeBron in the finals. Because if he wins more chips than MJ, I think that kind of shuts down the GOAT talk. Like, yo, because everything right now is chips. Championships. That's the era we live in. Win or nothing. Like, they told Giannis his season was a bust. It's like, yo, he just won a chip. Like, their team wasn't healthy. Like, what kind of standards are we? So that's another thing about living in New York. We're spoiled in other sports with the Yankees. The Yankees don't win. It was a failure of the year. That can't be how it is all across the board. Like, Beezo is a fan, short for fanatic, right? And, you know, he has every right to be happy that the Knicks are making progress. That's me being, like, realistic, right? But in reality, is it championship or bust? Or is it like, yo, we got to make progress. We got to take the steps to get there. And I just feel like LeBron needs more chips to build that conversation to satisfy me.
So by
Once
that,
he has 6 chips, 7 chips, you can't really say nothing.
So by
I personally,
7 chips, 7 chips does nothing for him.
I don't agree to that. I think he's better than MJ. But the fact that how many trips he took to the finals. Everybody that wasn't old enough acts like MJ went to the finals every year. That's not true.
Hey, I got a question for you though. You get invited to LeBron's birthday party, right? What you pulling up with, a bag of honey buns?
I'm pulling up with my gun in a bag to take everybody's chain, because that's how I give it up.
so
Nobody got my little baby reference.
he's not going.
I did get it, but you asked me about me. I'm not none of these. They're not my friends. They're not trying to do business with me. So now I got to do business for them.
Would you accept
So 7 chips. 7 chips puts him
above
above Mike for you, Pop.
Huh?
7 chips put him above Mike for you.
10 finals put him above Mike for me, man. That man.
10 finals.
On, man.
What?
So, Pop, seriously,
What's his record in the finals, Pop?
Is it drugs?
By that logic, championships equals your amount of greatness. So
I just said the conversation.
So
I just said the
argument people that have more than that, right?
Robert Horry better than Mike.
You know there's people that have more than that, like Bill Russell, like Robert Horry. Do you know? Come on, don't do that with me.
They're not in this, but I'm saying they're not in the GOAT conversation. If we're talking,
because they don't have the body of work after that. He does. You know that. All time point. Come on, man, don't do that. The man's stats are so good. I don't have to sit here and be like, yo, he done this, he done that. Y'all know that man did.
So the only
thing see his body of work
is championships.
No, what you need for the conversation in that GOAT thing, since they got MJ at top, and he's better than MJ in every other category. MJ don't have more points than him. MJ don't have more rebounds than him. Come on, like, come on, man. Let's. What you need for that conversation is him to win more chips, and then they really can't say nothing.
Bro, they can say a whole lot. Come on, cut it out.
But it won't have any basis because he has more chips. Right
now,
everybody says, "Oh, he's got 6 chips." Everybody says, "Oh, he's got 6 chips." LeBron only got 4.
What he did? Right. What did he do in those 6 chips? What did he do? You watched him play. What did he do in them 6? It ain't just about the chips. You can say he got chips and he ain't do. He was the main catalyst for every championship they won out of those 6. He was MVP of the finals every finals.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, but look at the quality of team he had, man.
What do you mean?
This man has Scotty.
Who he had, Pop?
This man has Scotty. This man had 2 of the stuff.
Braun had D-Wade, Boss, Kyrie Irving.
You're doing a lot. You're doing a lot of mixing and
matching. Should have got an Finals MVP on one of those.
You're doing a lot of mixing and matching. How long did he play with them?
And without Kyrie making that 3, he only get. Without Kyrie making that 3, he got 3 chips.
Without John Paxson making a shot, he only got 5 chips. What are you saying, man? Come on. You're
crazy,
not talking to a novice. You're not talking to a novice.
That was game 6. First
man.
of all, how? Mike never made it to a game 7 and no finals, so there's no way you say that. They lose that game.
You game 7 and make your chip less? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? You just said if Paxson.
Because you play a game 7, your chip means less?
You just said if Paxson missed the shot, he has 5 chips. That was game 6. That means it's a game 7 for Mike to win.
What you're saying is Robert Horry and Steve Kerr making them shots, that makes the chip worthless? What are you saying?
Robert Horry made a shot in games. You just said if Paxson misses the shot, Mike doesn't win the
game-winning shots, right?
Let me finish
in the playoffs. Make the chip work. Come on, man.
I didn't say that.
Sound like a bunch of hate, man. I'm a hater too. I'm a hater too. Like I'm always hate your Knicks. I'm always hate your Knicks. Like I'm a hater too.
I ain't asked you about the Knicks.
I
said Michael Jordan.
You a hater,
I said
bro.
Jordan.
You a hater.
Here we go. Every time you going down the road and you always falter to the left into some trees. Ain't nobody talking about no Knicks.
We have to bring up the fact that you are hating.
You said Paxson missed a shot. Mike only has 5 chips. I said Mike never made it to a game 7 in his life in the finals.
What are you saying?
Let me finish what I'm saying, and you'll hear it.
All right. Then
I said if Kyrie misses the shot, he doesn't win a chip because that was game 7. I said Mike has never made it to a game 7, so even if Paxson misses a shot, Mike still has game 7 to win, which you can guarantee and bet your life he's going to win it because that's what he did. Again, Braun, what happened with Ray Allen? Ray Allen hitting the shot. What happened with that?
You the only one on this conversation. Let me hold on before I go there. So you feel
I'm
like
telling you, he's not better than Mike. That's it.
If somebody hits a game winner, that denotes the win? Like, what are you saying, bro?
No, it doesn't denote the win. I'm telling you, you just said who was Mike playing with, and you tried to make it seem like Braun wasn't playing with guys. You just said who was Mike playing with. That's why he won the 6. You just said that.
In Miami, they had a squad, right? But nowhere else does Braun have a squad, man. Look at the dudes he's taking to the finals,
he picked a lot of his rosters. Can we add that into the conversation too?
Say that again?
Braun handpicked a lot of his rosters. Braun handpicked the coaches he played for.
You don't want to hear that, man.
What does that have to do with?
You bringing up
what are you saying? Like, okay, if I pick my guys and they're bums, what does that mean?
That's your fault. You picked those guys. We can't help that.
So, but what? Hold on, man. I don't understand. So you're saying that, it seems like you guys have the odds stacked one-sidedly. Like, if I play with bums and you agree they're bums, you're gonna say, "Well, you picked them." That's not even part of the conversation.
But he did. He did pick them.
Did he pay them bums out of his pocket? No, the league. Come on, man. I guess this sounds good for a podcast. That's not even logical. Like we on an NBA team. We on an NBA team, and I took lesser people. Like I took old New York Knicks to the finals and won chips. Like I took the bummest team, the Knicks. I took their bum players, and I took them to the finals. And you're saying, because you picked them, it don't matter that they bums. That's crazy.
You're saying basically,
son, he's trying
to compare the roster that Mike had to
future Hall of Famers.
You're trying to basically downplay Mike's ability due to his helpful roster. That's what you're doing.
No, I'm not. Why would I don't never downplay Mike.
You just
said look who he playing with.
Just because exactly you play with Scotty. Like, what are you saying?
Braun has played with 6 legitimate future Hall of Famers.
When they beat the Lakers, who guarded Magic?
You don't want to hear that though, right? You don't want to hear that.
Who guarded Magic?
Magic what? Scotty guarded Magic.
Beat the Lakers when the Bulls versus Lakers. Who guarded Magic?
Scotty.
So why wasn't the best person guarding Magic?
Because Scotty is 6'8".
That's not how defense matchups work out.
Come on, Magic is 6'9". Scotty was 6'8".
Game one, it was Magic versus Mike. and then Mike couldn't really handle that like on both sides, which is strategically smart of Phil Jackson. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, let's not act like your man was doing everything all by himself.
So
He had a
But it's a
great
sport.
cast, man. He had a great
So you have
cast.
to make the.
who Braun guarded? Who Braun guarded in any finals? Come on, bro. Who he guarded?
It was the one finals where it was nobody but him. Like, what are you talking about, man?
Who he guarded?
Why
Who'd you
wasn't he
want him to
on
guard,
Joker?
man?
Why was it? If that analogy holds, why wasn't he on Joker?
Why would this 38-year-old man be guarding Jokic?
No, don't
What's
do
going on
that.
here?
You talking
So it doesn't work. It doesn't work the other way.
What?
So
All right, this is how this
what
is gonna
happened
go.
when they played?
This
So
is how this
when
gonna
the
go.
Mavs
This is
won
how
the
this gonna go.
championship, why he ain't guard Dirk?
This is
Why
how
he
this
guard
gonna
Dirk?
go. He did guard
Okay.
Dirk. You know that already.
Dirk
You
was
don't act
torching him.
don't like
Dirk was torching him.
Oh my god, man.
And then
And what
Braun
happened?
did what? Went missing in the fourth.
Dirk is a great basketball player. He's 7 feet tall.
Magic is a great
He had
basketball
jump shot,
player.
right? Let me finish. He had a great jump shot, nice little fadeaway with the leg out. Dirk needed a lot of pieces to win that chip. And that's cool. Really, they got beat by their guard play.
I feel like the
So
Mavericks.
you just
number one
emptying the clip of the whole league at this point.
I don't agree with y'all, and that's all right.
It is.
We watch basketball, we might watch the same game and see different things. I'm not gonna say, like, Dirk is good, like he was a great player. But like, as far as being like, matter of fact, is Dirk in y'all top 20 of all time?
Absolutely. Yes. What you mean?
So then we don't agree on a lot.
That's cool. I don't like the Braun and MJ argument that way. So
I don't either. I respect and like LeBron's body of work, but I don't think it's not a good argument to have, in my opinion.
Yeah, you gotta have
apples and oranges. The game has evolved so much.
They the two at the top. You gotta have the conversation. The whole thing about LeBron was he's the chosen one. They needed a marketing thing. Is he gonna fill the shoes that MJ was leaving behind? And I think he did more.
No, he's done it. He's done enough to do that. He's lived up to everything they touted him to be in 2003. Definitely can't take that from him. Yeah, but he'll be second to Jordan forever. So,
in my book, anyway. But anyway, we're talking about players having some time off and coming back due to unfortunate circumstances that helped her out of the game. Brittany Griner is back and putting up big numbers for the WNBA. Grace, any thoughts on BG being back?
I think her return has been incredible. I think not only her play on the court, but to be able to manage your emotions with like both games so far, she's gotten like huge, gestures of appreciation and whatnot, and that's got to hit you a certain way emotionally. Then to get on the court and to put up crazy numbers when you've been sitting in the cell for almost a year is wild. They said that she came back, she had muscle atrophy, her body's different, and to see the way she's performing, not even close to 100%, I think it bodes well for her future, as the rest of her career, but also just this year is going to be a special year, I think, for her.
Yeah, I've definitely seen her make a leap from game 1 of the season to game 2. And even in game 1, she put up 18 points, 6 boards. But then game 2, she's at 27 points and 10 boards, a steal and 4 blocks.
And that's with time being managed, like limited time.
Right. So yeah, she's made that, and you can kind of see from watching her. I saw some shots where I normally know she would have made that. But she's still getting back into her groove, so it's dope to see her back. Pop B's, y'all got takes on BG?
I mean, I'm glad that she is back. I'm glad she's back on the court. I'm glad she's back doing what she loves. She was always good. When I don't watch the WNBA faithfully like that, unfortunately. But when I do see it, I've always seen her put up good numbers. And I know that was one thing people was looking at because of all the time that she was sitting in that cell. Was she, muscle memory? Would you still be able to do certain things? Would she lose a step? So that's a good story. I'm personally, in just the move with the WNBA, I still feel a certain type of way that the league doesn't get the exposure I think it deserves, especially this year with the BG story, with the Aces having that type of team. With the Liberty and Breanna Stewart putting up 45 the other day. I'm like, would y'all be saying, would y'all be talking about Brittany Griner putting up 27 if she didn't sit in that cell for that long?
Sure.
Do I think it's time to put spotlight on the women, especially these young girls. I watched them college, I watched them in high school. They getting better and better. As far as skill level is concerned, it's a lot of really good women players that'll bust some men's ass. And it's just like they'll talk about it for a couple seconds, and you'll never know if you don't do the YouTube and search for it. So,
right,
because I don't even know if they promote these games like that to where it'll come on, and then having games at 2:00 in the afternoon. It's like people work. Why would you have a professional game on at 2:00 in the afternoon just for people to watch the highlights when they get home from work? Like, I think that's crazy to me. But I'm definitely glad she's back. Glad she's just back to playing basketball and leaving that political stuff alone. So, and I hope she continue to shine and they start talking about her play and that other stuff to the side.
Yeah, for sure. I think we've seen a little uptick with them trying to get a little more exposure. It's not what we would want it to be right now, but we do see some progress forward. And kind of what I talked about in my last video I dropped on YouTube, it's unfortunate that they take a step forward like that and then take 2 steps back with the whole Becky Hammon situation with De'Erica Hamby, and what I did like, and I think the Aces probably should have done this, is the Sparks, highlighted De'Erica Hamby and her babies for Mother's Day. And now you have the Aces over here trying to take her contract extension saying, oh, she got pregnant on purpose. Like, you could have marketed that better instead of spinning it that way. But hey, it is what it is. Pop, you got anything?
Yeah, nah, I don't got nothing.
You good? All right. Y'all got any other hot takes before we head out of here?
Nah, because Pop ain't going to answer none of them, so we might as well just go ahead and wrap it
You
up.
asking stupid questions. Why the Lakers get swept?
That's a stupid question, Pop.
That's a dumbass question. You just did that to agitate me. Why the Lakers get swept?
How?
What type of question is that? They got swept because they couldn't win. They couldn't win a game.
Make it make sense.
They got swept because they
you don't
couldn't
care
win a
about
game.
the Lakers, and you want Braun to get in the finals, but now you agitated because I said why you ain't win a game. You try to agitate
because
me with the
that's not how
stuff.
basketball works. Like I'm just there, and the better team won, and they happen to win 4 in a row. Like,
okay,
that was common sense.
I hear you.
I'll jump in with my hot take.
Go ahead.
It's W related. I think we I've touched on it lightly in other conversations, but I think it's time for the W to expand the roster. Because obviously expansion is not going to happen overnight, but they can start by expanding the roster, because I think it's absolutely disgusting that less than half of those draft picks from this year made final opening day rosters. Like, that's sick. The amount of talent that's going to waste from this year and just the talent pool in general, I think it's sick, and something has to be done. Otherwise, like, people are going to continue to miss out on the game because there's only so much you can do when you keep it contained like they keep it contained.
And the piggyback off of that,
I've made my takes about the expansion and what my theory and strategy would be to make that happen. But
right,
I think it all starts with the most immediate approach that could help the league is expanding those rosters to at least 14, at least.
I mean, with all the first round waves that we just had, you could make 2 extra teams out of that. So
absolutely. Yeah, it's crazy.
Is it a money problem? Is it a funding problem?
Definitely a money problem.
There's not enough. There's only 12 teams. There's only 12 roster spots per team. So there's just not enough roster spots for all the talent that there is.
The game, the brands gotta expand. We've seen it with Vancouver. We've seen it with what was the other team in my lifetime that I seen? We seen New Orleans. What was it? No, Charlotte folded. And Vancouver folded. We've seen those 2 franchises, right? Charlotte went away for what, like 2 years or something like that?
Yeah, New Orleans.
However long they moved to New Orleans. We've seen it like that. It is about money. It's about the game. It's about TV deals. It's about politics. It's a lot. And the WNBA is not there yet. They're headed in the right direction. They're just not there yet.
In 20 years. Then they started like 2000, been 23 years.
We conditioned to think 20 years is a long time, but look at the NBA 20 years old. You know what I mean? They weren't where they at in 20 years. Remember, the NBA, it was
Good point.
75. You know, this is year 75. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That
Yeah, and I just because
WNBA
it's just
is going to
kind of I
grow
kind of think
quicker because they have more tools that they use. That they you know, they have more tools to grow quicker. So they have the advantage of the NBA if the NBA finally gets the thing together and gets behind them in the right way. But at the same time, it's like 20 years isn't a long time. It is a
I
long
know they
time if
should
you
just
with
pay them
Griffin.
owners. They should
Well,
pay the
here's
owners
my
or
take though. The
something like that.
NBA has had 20 years to get it together behind them, so that's why I'm saying go ahead and link up with the NFL. I already made
think
that
it's
rant,
like
so I won't even. I don't even waste your time on it.
when
I
you
think it's
see
like
the Aces facility with what Mark Davis just
Mhm.
did for them, yeah, it's smart to link with another NFL owner. That's really smart.
And that expands the
well,
markets.
you know,
Like
that's not
one of the biggest reasons that the WNBA doesn't have more exposure is because that's literally only 12 markets for people to take
right.
in women's basketball in person. That's really
Yeah.
limited when you think about the fact that there's so many other places where they don't have a team to go see.
And for the listeners, I don't want anybody to think like this is something I'm kind of aware of. You know, it's not unique for one person to own a team in 3 different sports.
Right.
So that's not far fetched. That's how it was before they started selling these teams.
Mhm.
Like you know, you have your core 5. I think Boston, New York, maybe Ohio. So I guess you would say Cincinnati. These like core 5s of the. You can look at the first baseball teams actually, and those owners went on to own other sports teams, and that's kind of how it is. Like the Celtics, the Patriots, and somebody else, they all had similar ownership at one point. And that's how the leagues grow and all of that because you can also cross promote. But the WNBA is not there yet. You know, and I don't think it would be fair to expect them to be like the NBA this early in their thing. They got to find their way, especially if you want to be great. Like you see how David Stern amplified the NBA. Like the NBA was doing good. You know, they were making money. They were finally not losing teams. You know, they were finally making progress. But David Stern took it to another level. But the game has to be ready for that too.
What you mean?
You know,
the game is ready for that.
What you mean? They got stars. They got stars that they get. But this is what my point is. I would think looking at the BG situation would get these people to say, okay, we don't want to keep sending our players overseas to get paid or to play. Let's start doing something to expand it and putting some and getting these people that can purchase these teams and brand them and market them properly. Because there's stars to be promoted and marketed definitely with the WNBA.
But see, the fan base has no issue with that. It's all in the hands of the people who got the bag. Like you gotta, they don't.
Well, you don't have
want
enough
to make
fans to
the
have more
risk of
teams.
you got to spend money to make money. At the end of the day,
you don't have enough fans to have more teams. That's why they don't have more teams.
What you mean?
Hasn't market
The
closed in
women's
the
national
WNBA?
championship outsold the men's by a lot. What do you mean? There's not enough fans? I was in the arena. It was packed.
That's totally different, Grace. That's like it's not
How?
the same thing. That young lady's not in the
How?
WNBA.
Who's not?
It's
None
women's
of those young
basketball.
ladies
What
are
are
in
you
the
talking about?
Who's
Are you talking about the NCAA Women's
pathway.
Championship? You talking about the NCAA Women's Championship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are any of those the two top tier ladies from that? Like, and when I say top tier, I'm talking about they got top billing. They got talked about the most. Are they in the WNBA?
They were
Aaliyah
juniors.
Boston is?
They're not eligible.
If you're talking about Angel Reese and Taylor,
It's a yes or no question.
no, listen.
What you
if you're
mean? They
talking
weren't.
Angel
They
Reese
didn't
and
want to
Taylor
come out
Swift,
yet.
Yeah, they
No,
stayed
no.
in school another year. Aaliyah Boston.
So if you put all the money right now behind the WNBA and took it from 12 teams to 20 teams, you're telling me that boat wouldn't sink? It would swim.
Nobody is saying go to 20 teams, but more than 12.
Yeah, not overnight. Absolutely, that's a terrible business.
That's
decision.
all I was saying to begin with. That's all I was saying. Is that the
I never
game's
said
gotta
add
be
20
ready.
teams overnight. I said partner with the
I
NFL
didn't-
and do it at a intelligent, progressive rate. You got to start somewhere with a good partnership and good investment, though. You got to start
What I
somewhere. You
think
can't just
was-
say, "Oh, it's that WNBA's been losing money, so we just never gonna figure it out." That's the
I didn't
approach
say
a lot
that.
of people seem to take.
I said they gotta be ready for a David Stern like person.
So
Like
what is
somebody
your
that could-
definition of ready? Because you saying the game's not ready. Have you watched the women's basketball game?
I
lately?
just asked you if you took it from 12 teams to 20 teams, would they survive?
Why
right?
would
I
you
just-
do
I
that
just-
though? That's not a smart
That's
business move
expanding.
by any means.
That's expanding.
If you
At
had
some point-
if you had
At some
12
point, all these
franchises
leagues
of the
had to
stores
expand.
and you
At
want
some
to
point,
add
all these leagues had to
eight
expand.
stores overnight, you're a dumb business person.
Not
That's
really.
the
'cause
same
McDonald's
concept if
doesn't
you added
expand.
8 WNBA teams overnight.
Not really, because McDonald's does it every day. But what I'm trying to tell you is that
No, I
game,
work for a McDonald's owner-operator who has almost 30 locations. He never buys more than one new location at a time.
That's one
You have
owner
to be
operator.
smart about this.
That's one owner operator.
Yeah, he's the biggest black owner-operator in the country. What you mean?
What does
You have
that
to be
mean
smart
to
about
the-
how you're
you
adding
have
things
to
to your
the whole
business. You can't just
operation.
add a big bag.
Yo,
Of
you
course
could
you're gonna
literally
sink
come to
if you do that.
Brooklyn. You could literally come to Brooklyn and open 8 McDonald's right now, and they would not close. That's
We're
all
talking
I'm
about
saying.
women's basketball.
We're talking about business. You changed it to business.
But expanding
So
is
you
not the
telling me if the
answer anyway.
NFL added 8 teams overnight, it wouldn't sink? Those teams wouldn't sink.
I don't watch
Those
the
teams would
NFL,
be
so I
profitable
wouldn't
on
know,
day
but I
one.
don't think
You
it
telling me
would.
those teams would be profitable on day one?
I
No,
don't watch the NFL, so but I think it would because it's big enough. It's
You know
America's
the
game,
But-
right?
no new team is gonna be profitable when you introduce it. But that's not the problem. The problem is these women are not coming out because they know there's no money involved in it for me to come and play in the WNBA. So I might as well stay in college. Like if you would have been able to get Angel Reese and what's girl named Caitlin Clark? Is that her name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have had to get them two after the championship to say we declare for the WNBA and we come. Those are two faces of the WNBA that they can market and brand.
Mhm.
But
Before
ain't
the
nobody
NIL, that's what would have happened.
that. Huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Before NIL, that's what probably would have happened this year if the NIL wasn't a
Yeah,
thing
because
anymore.
they can make more money playing
Right.
college with NIL than they can going to the W. And that's a shame because that's how you promote and go ahead and expand the game is by introducing new stars and being able to promote those new stars. But you can't do it.
But those aren't the only
if
two
I was-
stars. We had 36 new stars drafted this year.
But
It's not a lack of star power. You can't. There's
what
no
I'm saying
argument
is-
that can say that the women's basketball lacks star power by any means.
But I know more about first round women getting cut than I know about the stars that was drafted. That's a problem.
Say
It's not.
36.
But
new
you say you
stars
don't be
is
watching
stretch.
women's basketball like that, so that's why you don't know about it.
But I keep
To say
an eye
You
on
know
it.
how about
stars is
Zaya
stretch.
Cook performing in her first game?
But if I knew some of these women that were coming in, if I knew some of them, and I watch, and because I watch college basketball, I see a lot of high school women coming from New York. I'm a fan of basketball. I just don't watch it because it's not promoted and it's not branded properly to catch my attention with some of these teams. So that's what I'm saying. Like when you start branding and you start showing them and they start being at the top of these programs and not the last 3 minutes of the program, it brings more attention and more eyes to a sport, in my opinion.
So like I said, this goes back to the beef not being with the game or the players itself. It's to the people holding the bag and making the big decisions. Because that's who decides where they're investing their money, where they're investing their time slots. It's not about the league. It's about finally somebody at the top who has the money, who has a decision to take that risk. It's not even really a risk at this point. It's to make that decision to take the league to the next step.
And in your mind, what's holding them back from doing that?
I have no idea.
You think it's a conspiracy?
No, I wouldn't. I could say that, yeah, it's sexism, but that would be bad. Like that'd be stupid from a business perspective. Like the women's game has grown leaps and bounds, like crazy over the last, I'd say probably 10 years. I wouldn't say it's sexism. I don't know why they're not doing it. I don't know why it's not happening. Maybe it's in process.
I think more exposure is definitely a key to it, but at this point, they definitely could use at least 2 to 3 more new teams within the next 5 years. They could use it because you have a lot of NCAA women's teams whose stands are getting packed out from night to night. Like you can go to a UConn game and you see the fanhood that's there for those women up there. And we know that UConn ran the WNCAA for a few years. But there's a fan base there for women's basketball. Now you have the connection there, but I'm saying in other big college towns, you could probably use a team there.
Mm-hmm.
And women's basketball in college picked up once it wasn't no longer a monopoly with UConn just being the show. In my opinion, these other teams started winning and started showing out, and it brought more eyes to it. That's just my opinion. Because for a while, it was just UConn and everybody else for a long time.
They had a lot of college women powerhouses like
But I'm saying, I'm
No,
talking about
but let's be real
UConn
about
and
it. The
Tennessee.
women's game hasn't gotten much primetime TV slots up until these last few years. That's the biggest issue of it. It's gotten a lot more exposure than it has previously, but now it needs more. That's the issue.
Well, I'm from the Northeast, and I went to school with some women that went to UConn, so it was a little different for me. I always watched their games.
Yeah, but you had a vested interest because you knew them.
Not just that, it was just part of, it was like on the radar because I'm also that generation where we were playing against women more predominantly. Like, it was a lot more women playing. Now it's a lot of women playing ball, but like we were at the remember Shamika Holdscore? She was
that's where
like
I'm from.
everybody.
Yeah, Jamaica Holdscore
Your
era.
girl Shannon Bobbitt, right?
Yep.
You heard?
Yeah.
Your girl is Shannon Bobbitt, right? The shorty from Harlem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah. My bad.
Yeah,
like
but
I grew up knowing that Cheryl will bust Reggie ass. You know what I mean? Like that was like a known thing. Like
that was
Cheryl
a known fact.
Reggie 100. Yeah, that Cheryl give her 100. Now my pop's generation, that's a little different, but he's also 40 years older than me. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And then my daughter, she doesn't want to play basketball, but she's 12 years old. She's gonna be tall. Hopefully she plays some sport. And I wanted her to play ball, but she doesn't want to play. But it's not to the point where she thinks that she knows that if she did, she'd be just as good as the boys. It's not even a question. Like, they're not better than me just because they boys. We had that part of it.
But
like, it was assumed before that women couldn't hoop. That's not true. Huh?
I said that's the arc we at now. I know a bunch of women that'll give
right. We know a bunch
buckets.
of women that can hoop. Like, if you see a woman in the gym and you think because she a woman like white man can't jump, you see the dude wearing yoga pants or whatever, you think, oh, this bozo. If you see a woman in the gym and you think because she a woman, she can't hoop, you probably about to get your head bust.
I catch dudes slipping on a weekly basis with that.
That's what I'm saying.
They
like,
see me walk in the gym and say, oh, she a girl. No, I'm out here. I'm out here for a reason. I'm not trying to get chose. I'm here to play.
Absolutely.
Well, if y'all have nothing else, I have nothing else. Thank y'all for tuning in to Hot Take Season. Thank you, Beezo, for joining us for this one. You're more than welcome back anytime.
I'm born. Thank you so much.
I don't know about any time.
Pop, can I just say thank you to me?
I don't know about
there was an empty silence for a second. I was waiting for it.
I don't know about
I
any
just
time.
want to say thank you to Mia. Hold on, Pop, and you can go ahead and talk. Thank you, Mia. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, Pop, for having me again. I appreciate always being on. I'm always open to jumping on. Pop, whatever, man. You already know what it is, man. You already know what it is with me and you.
You know what it is, man.
I say there's only one way to settle this beef.
What's that?
Need to see y'all play 1-on-1.
Oh, I thought you was gonna say like a
Pop,
duel to the
you
death.
don't want that.
I thought you was gonna say like a duel to the death.
Don't want that. Pop don't want that.
Some people talking, some people walking. I know you like to talk, so
Hey, Grace, I think you just put something in motion now.
Roll the ball on the court. Ain't no more talking.
So this is turning to like Olympic thing because I've already challenged him to boxing. So now it's basketball.
You challenged him to boxing?
We're gonna fight at a catchweight. So
we can do it all. We can do it all. Put the gloves there, put the ball there, whatever.
Pop versus Beezo.
All right, I think we
can hit up the batting cages. We can hit up. You can't really do football individually. I guess we could hit up something.
Get a little 1-on-1 drill.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We can do some all-star drills or something.
Yeah.
You know me. Whenever you need me, just give me a call. Holler at me. I'll jump on.
We'll never
put Pop in his place.
Of course.
We might have you on the show, but we'll never need you. Don't get it twisted.
Hey, Pop, no mind.
Here we go. Here we go, Pop.
There's always one.
Always.
Always.
It can only be one. Don't you forget it. It can only be one. Neo in the Matrix. But it's good. It's always good going back and forth with Beezo. Hopefully the people are entertained. That's what this is about.
Definitely.
We're not just here to spit off stats, and a little bit of our personalities have to shine through. He's from Harlem. I'm from Brooklyn. It's supposed to be tension. It's just, it was happy to have you join us. You should have came last week. I feel like listening to this, but you can't even tell that to the listeners, so I'll say it when we go up. But you should have came last week. Last week was a really good show. hopefully could reach that level again. Thanks for coming. It was a great show. Grace, you did great. Mia, you always do great. Thanks for having me. And signing off. Y'all have a good night.
You did great too. And on that note, y'all be blessed.